രാജശ്രീ വെങ്കിട്ടരമണൻ 130 വാക്ക് ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ഷോർട്ട് ആൻഡ് സ്പീഡ് ഡിക്റ്റേഷനാണ് വായിക്കുന്നത്. സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്യാത്തവരുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ദയവേത് സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്യുക. ഇത് ഹൈ സ്പീഡ് ഹയർ SSC ഈ പരീക്ഷ എഴുതുന്ന കുട്ടികൾക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും ഈ സ്പീഡ് വളരെ ഉപകാരമായിരിക്കും. ഓക്കെ ഫ്രണ്ട്സ്, I think it was a very good idea to call this conference, and I am especially glad that you are treating the subject in a much more practical way and getting down to brass tacks. That is how to implement the decisions which we have taken. Many of these decisions, as probably the Congress President has told you, are not new. But we take the decision and then we expect them to get translated into action by themselves. As the saying means that it is done. But we shall all know that between the saying and the doing is a great deal of concentrated, united hard work and determination. Now, this is what we have not done. What we abolished untouchability, our constitution. It was taken for granted that this is done. We find that it is not done. So it is not only a question of the economic programs, which are very important, but it is quite question of following, of changing social attitudes. And that is why I have been stressing that just as in all national policies, Congress is a party which is anti many things. I mean, it is anti untouchability, anti inequality, anti poverty, and anti any type of communalism. But we always try to do things by taking as many people along with us as possible. And in our program for the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and the backward classes, we should also see that no atmosphere of confrontation arises. I'm specially mentioning this because I don't know what is happening in other states, but reports from my own state, Uttar Pradesh, are not a situation is arising where people feel, even though the programs for the Harijans are not being implemented, that an atmosphere of confrontation is developing which can be counterproductive. That is, they won't allow the program to go forward, and that not only will the Harijans suffer, but everybody will suffer. So, how you do a thing is as important as the actual achievement. The major problem in India has been one of the poverty and economic backwardness. It has been our effort in the last years. It has been the efforts of the Congress since its very inception, which is nearly 90 years ago, to abolish poverty and bring about greater equality. And Mahatma Gandhi realized even then that this cannot be done without the eradication of all the social evils. Casteism has been perhaps the biggest factor in isolating India from scientific thought, rational thought, and development. That is why here caste and Congress also feels that this is one of the things which has to be dealt with. Now, the problem is that everybody considers these matters in abstract terms. Caste is bad, but individually, what does each one do? Do we see that in our families we will break through these barriers? Do our young people, are they modern enough? Some of them are very modern in their dress and their habits, but are they modern enough to feel that this is an outdated thought or conception and that must be removed, whether it is a marriage or meeting people or anything else? Every now and then there are proposals that people should not use caste names. Some people have dropped it, but it does not make them feel less caste conscious. So it becomes the superficial action. I don't think, however, that this, I'm sure because I have said it, but I don't know whether it is done. Caste is still mentioned in all forms. One of the reasons, of course, is to identify the scheduled tribes, but somehow, if we can remove, I personally would be very happy if the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes also start forgetting that they are scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes. They are Indians. They are Indians who have had a bad deal for centuries. They never professional opportunities for development. They are entitled to these opportunities now, and we are doing our best to give them. But If we try to perpetuate the caste system, then it is very difficult to ask other castes not go anyway to their own feelings. But either we are all Indians and we are all equal, or everyone will want something for his own group.